Still got fuel in there, so. Okay, go again. Go again. Make this thing a little easier to work on. Earlier I had the 41s on the back and the skinnies up front because that's all I needed to clear the cab. And I was like, this is hardcore muscle truck vibes. Now we're hardcore Civic racetrack vibes. Snapped off hose. Ready? Yeah, you feel it thud and run backwards. I don't remember what that means. I just remember that the timing's off. Reading oil pressure, that's good. So we've established spark. We have a timer. Call an old guy.
Hello, Dakota.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, not bad. How you doing?
We're doing good. I need old guy expertise. I don't know how to time a small block, evidently.
Okay. Well, how about if I come over and make it run?
That'd be awesome. Yeah, sounds good too. And even the oil pressure gauge works. Test fitting the rigs and see how much the rear winches suck stuff down. Leaf spring is bent backwards. We're at the bottom of the shocks, but then it was clearing his front bumper over here. You're on, buddy. Woo! It's beautiful. Look at this junkyard. There's a cab and a frame and some parts and another cab and a whole front clip. Oh, and another frame and some parts. We got some stuff to sell, clean up when I get back. This is Thursday morning. We leave tomorrow morning, like 8 o'clock. So we test fit a whole bunch of stuff yesterday. It fit on his trailer and then we figured out we were overloaded and now I think we're driving separate. So here's the tail lights in this nice little angle iron doodad, so they're protected, but they're just bolted in the back and they're wired in the back to the factory harness. Tires are flat right at the moment for getting it to fit under his rig as much as possible. Threw together a little mount to hold this and it makes it super solid and it's all sealed. This is my breather hose for my diff I need to hook back up. Alternator's not hooked up yet and the battery was dying. And since I got cables run to the back that I still need to cut off and put a quick connect on for a winch, I hadn't got that far, so pretty convenient to hook to a battery so I could continue driving it around since I haven't got the alternator sorted. Got a super sexy intake on there that will keep some snow out. Ordered an aluminum radiator just because, and that came in. I had coolant leak coming out of my heater core. It seems to have resolved itself. I put this blower motor in the Blazer about a year ago, so we swapped it and put it in this so we'd have good heat. Got some bus bars, whatever you would call them, junction blocks. So now the battery's nice, clean and simple. There's just a one negative, one positive. I need to go tie these up all a little better. That's kind of what today is. I need to go tie up some wires a little better and tie up the cables running to the back. I need to weld the thing under the clutch support when I lift it up. But she runs good. She rips, makes good horsepower. I forgot how much of a handful she was to drive because the rear end's welded when you engage the front four-wheel drive because it's locked in the front. So if you engage both, it's just a lot of work. So you just engage the passenger one because it's easy to hop out and engage the driver one. And then when you get on it, she whoosh, pulls. So now there's weight on the front end and no weight on the rear. Took her for a little test drive over to the scale. Take a guess on what she weighs and leave it in the comments below. I'll tell you here in a little bit. Got this plate cut down and bolted back in. Decided I was on a time crunch, so I just bolted it in and we're gonna stuff the cradle in there. And that's also my to-do list, is put another wire from here, fish it down to here so I can quick connect, plug in my winch. So then that'll be convenient because I'll just take the cradle and I can just stuff the cradle in the front, or if I need it in the back, we'll just go stuff it in the back. The negative is it sticks like way out here. I don't like that. Approach angle and stuff, it sucks. Got some ambitious goals for today because I'm flying solo. Landy's gonna come over and help for probably a couple hours, but I should resolve this. It's custom. I'm gonna build a roll bar and then make some toolbox mounts and fix this hub. It's missing some bolts or they're broke off or both. And then I'm gonna button up everything. Toolbox mounts, roll bar, that includes buttoning up. Need to finish welding the clutch linkage there. It's not my prettiest welds, but she'll hold. It's kind of hard to get to and it wasn't properly prepped, and by the time I could weld it, it was too late. So need to put a belt on the alternator. Power steering's hooked up and that seems to be fine and hunky-dory. But I need to push the alternator out. This goes. It's really lined up with this belt. I need it to line up with this belt. You can see it doesn't do that. So we're going to space these out some more. Right here. Build new little spacer blocks. And then that should be ready to rock and roll. Brakes feel good. Everything turns on with a key. Marker lights work. Headlights work. Suck down winches work. We just hot wired them and jumped them and ran them down to see if they'd fit on the trailer. I'd like to get those wired up and done, but we'll see. That's almost last. But now I guess I'm taking my own trailer and truck since we were overloaded. There's a new jack right there because I bent the other one. I need to put a jack in, I need to hook it up, and I need to measure how wide it is and see if she fits. And I don't know any of those things yet. I can either put blocks over the fenders because they're not drive over fenders yet. I haven't built that. Or I can put skinny tires on the front to squeak between the fenders, which might be advantageous. Unless it loads wrong, and then I'll need to put skinny tires on the back also, and then you're hauling a full set of tires and swapping tires in the dark and the cold, and that sucks. Anyway, I got plenty of work to do and nowhere near enough time. So I'm gonna get to work. Little peek in here. Got some work done. That's the battery powered winch controller. Caleb got the radio mounted for me so we can talk if we need to. The other rigs, trans tunnels in with the full drive shift boots and stuff. we missed, and we had to re-weld some holes, but they're not pretty or perfect or ground down there, but they'll somewhat seal for the trip. This is our custom made antenna insert. There's no longer a fuel tank in there, so we'll have to fill that someday. But for now, it's the hole to put the antenna in the rig. Trimming turned out all right. It's not bad. Can't hardly even tell. In sense, you can more tell because you still see my Sharpie marks, but went and flexed her out last night. I really need to take about this off. All the way around that I didn't. And then I think she'll fully clear. But I'm kind of on the fence because right now it rubs. And where it rubs is this nice, smooth radius. If I cut it and miss, or don't get enough, or whatever, or run out of time to go flex test it again, then where it cuts is like sharp metal, and it will do stuff like this to the tire. And I really don't want to cut it because I'm not convinced it's staying on these, and I'm not convinced that if this is truly a 37, that means a 41 would be 4 inches taller, which means it would only go up 2 inches radially, and I'm going to put a 4-inch lift on it. So really I should end up with 2 inches more of clearance, and I really like the lack there of trim that is on it. And I like the height also, don't get me wrong. It could be 4 inches of lift, but it sure seems like she's kind of leaning rearward. I don't know as to why. Anyway, I should end up with more clearance. And I would like it, I like how low it is stability-wise because I want to do side hill things. However, the front winch situation, I get very little throw. I'll get very little travel with these modified stock springs. If I want more travel for my suck down winches, it needs to be, I have a little more up travel, that'll make it rally a little better, and I can pull the better shocks on it. It should be a fun little ride. She rips around pretty good because she's got so much tire for suspension. If it had real shocks, that would be even better because guaranteed those do nothing. This is the air quotes budget build. Anyway, here we go. Okay, back to work. All right, remember how I said I had a bunch of work to do? Well, I do. I already got sidetracked somehow. I'm gonna make this Fab. I'm gonna spray it on the side. It's gonna be a stencil. Shut the door. It's filthy. All right, little update. The foam idea kind of failed, so we stopped and made one out of acrylic. And yeah, there's still protective paper on it, but I'm seal that off, so I don't really care. It's gonna be a pretty good size. I think there's good. We had a hub over here, missing some bolts we talked about. Well, come to find out, there's a bolt broke off in that hole, and those bearings look disgusting, and the grease looks disgusting. So, luckily, we've had this problem before on the other side, and I've already fixed it once. So I had a whole complete axle. This one, grease actually looks better in it, but we're gonna clean it all out, repack all the bearings, and move on. But if you look, there's no broke off bolts in any holes. So clean this off, power wash out all the bearings, grease all the bearings. I likely don't have a seal for the back of this like you'd think I should, so we're just gonna wash it and stuff a whole bunch of grease in there. It's just a wheeling rig, come on. No, ideally we would, but I have a Dana 60 for this someday. I'll hit this with Scotch-Brite, clean up that rust on that rotor. And then these are like contained spindle bearings. So I have a project for the junk ones because I don't need them to grip 4-wheel drive. I just need a spinning assembly that's 8 on 6.5, which this is. I'm gonna take the 2 junk ones that I have, put them back on the junk axle I have, take the spindles off, and we're gonna go build some cool stuff someday. Kind of wiped this off already. I don't know if you can see. There's some like hammer marks in there. See the little dent right there in the side? And then up over here, there's like some chisel grooves and stuff. That's less than ideal, but the bearing really rides here and here. So the middle's just there to exist. It's not really a big deal. But when you're doing this, that's what you want to pay attention to. This dark coloring is less than ideal. If this was my over-the-road truck, we would be fixing that, but it's not. Oh, I also got some little tie-down strap mounts done. One there. One over here. I zip tied up this big old battery cable up here so it doesn't get in any important parts. And then when I set it back down, I'll cut it to length, and it'll be my little quick connect for my cradle winch. And then there's some more tie down mounts So when I go to put it on the trailer, I got somewhere easy to strap. I don't always have to chase the strap over the trailer and so on. Anyway, going to put back a spindle together now. Summit order came in just in the nick of time, just got delivered. So I'll be putting a heater core and hood hinges and that kind of stuff and buttoning it up. All right, we're at Snow Bash at the morning meeting before we go out. Not that you get to see great in the dark, but there's a whole bunch of rigs here. Supposedly there's still some snow. We cruised out last night and I failed to get any video of it. The rig looks pretty good. Threw together some mud flaps, got some taillights, back outs, logo done on the door. Cab lights look awesome. He just hollered and asked if we're ready.
Yeah.
Here's Matt on 43. Matt blew a bead up there, got it all set. Forgot to film the fire part. This little Jeep blew a bead, helped fix him earlier. Pretty cool little group of rigs. Oh, getting even more back there. Should be rolling here soon. So.
hold a sec. It's got the same starter problem I do. All right. Go ahead. lose your aluminum. Smack that tree right there. It's awful slow coming around. We better hurry up and get through this because we're almost out of battery. Power steering. Crunch.
Leaf springs, not rally cars.
No, you smoked the winch though. On that very front tip, right there is where you rub. Go up the Jersey barrier. That's true.
Had a fun trip, fueling up to go home. Got a little damage from one of the guys leaving the parking lot. Anyway, winch did plenty of digging on the front end. No other damage to speak of besides that. It's all packed on snow. Lost an antenna. There was a magnetic antenna coming out the filler hole, but we can live with that. Snow Bash 2025 is concluded, and we're back home to our junkyard that we have to clean up parts from. Truck did really good. We only had to work on it once. The front linkage for the clutch lost a cotter pin, and the keyring solved that problem. I need to trim a little more on my front tire. I can see they rub up here a touch. I can see it rubs here because it's self-clearanced. So that's kind of a bummer. I was trying to keep the body kind of straight and nice, but I'll probably end up trimming that a little bit more. Temporary wood deck on the trailer, wood ramp to get it on the trailer because it's wider than my trailer is. Pack out mounts and everything work good. Never had to hook up the winch in the rear. Mud flaps work good. Threw them in the cab for the drive home just because winches weren't hooked up to use them. Needed to use the front winch at one point, but she ran good. We missed a hot wire going to the electric choke. We got that hooked up. I'll show you the fix we did on the two-handed operation here. Sorry. There we go. Got a little bit of an oil leak up here. We need to chase custom block on the alternator. I don't know if you got to see that. This is the clutch linkage, right? We welded on, we talked about. But the bottom one that goes to the trans lost the cotter pin, so it was kind of hard to get to. Nobody had one, so I stole the ring off the keys and ran that through. And that it had the same problems it's always had of a little bit of a power steering leak, and the power steering working overtime to keep up with the locked front. That's the power wire wrapped around the heater hose going to the carburetor for the choke. And it worked fine. The heater core was wrong. We finally got one in, and it was the wrong one. Still, it was the wrong size. So this is some TIG wire wrapped around it and then through the holes, and then same on the bottom side, wrapped around it through the holes, and some zip ties for security's sake. We got it to work, and we got up there. The heater fan wasn't work anymore with the ground, so we ran a dedicated ground to the grounding stud to help it ground, and now it works great. So the heater worked great the whole trip, ran great the whole trip, didn't hang up or do any damage, really. One little 4Runner guy passed me, and his bumper hit me when he slid over, but old sheet metal's kind of cool in that sense. And that, the truck's filthy. I'm gonna throw on some gloves and get it unloaded, but I wanted to wrap it up and show it to you. It seemed to quite a ball. Hit the mirrors hard a few times, but they seem to be solid enough to be okay. Might have to do something a little different there, but they look so cool. Anyway, till next time.